This is the second film accredited to Mr. Kurosawa. I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. Okay. Sanshiro Sugata, Part 2. Now, this film is about a judo master. The first film is about this. That's the gentleman. The first film is about his rivalry with jiu-jitsu, and it has Shimura as the fella that he takes on, and he defeats him. And there's a love story between him and Shimura's daughter, and there's conflict in it, but ultimately he wins. And there's a lot of scenes with him becoming at a stage of enlightenment. Oh, look at that. There's the shoot fight. That's a shoot fight. That was not supposed to be staged. In other words, in wrestling term, a shoot fight means it's a real fight. So anyway, this is the second film. So I want to talk about the concepts of the film, and we're just going to keep it rolling. The first film is about enlightenment. It's about the some contact with the West. But pretty much there's a rivalry between jiu-jitsu and judo, where jiu-jitsu is defeated by judo. And there really isn't a lot of discussion about what the point of it is or why it's there. There's just this fighting. And there's no really explaining why they're doing it or the thought behind it. It is presented like there is a good guy versus a bad guy, but we don't really see what the point of it is. Now, in part 2, this is really pretty much a 2.5-hour ugh in my view. And it's a great movie. Anyway, in part 2, we explain what Mr. Sugata has done and what his purpose in this movie is to save Japanese martial arts. That's the purpose. And at this time, I guess it wasn't clear whether or not they were going to win. And that was his purpose. That was what the instructor was going to do. And they wanted to save an idea. Now, as this movie goes along, this fella here, Sugata, becomes more and more enlightened. And I think a couple of the ideas that are really discussed in this second part is Mr. Kurosawa's opposition to capitalism and why he's anti-capitalistic and how he favors traditions and ideas. Here you'll see his anti-capitalism here. The gentleman doesn't want to take the money. He doesn't want to be polluted. He doesn't want to be used. So, and I think one of the reasons that we don't see this movie and it's not used and it's in such a condition is this movie graphically presents an alternative idea to what we're being presented in the narrative in Western civilization. Now, I'm not saying that their way was better. I'm just saying they're presenting an alternative here in this film, and you can take for it for what you will. An alternative is presented here, and this explains Mr. Kurosawa's work even better if you watch the film, what's happening in this and what these characters are doing. You'll understand him better. And I just want to say, from my own personal view, I've seen this is like the 28th movie out of his 30. There's only a couple of them I haven't seen. And this one explains Mr. Kurosawa's work very well. Even though I think it's not quite as good as it's filmed, the themes of it, the ideas are just brilliant. He doesn't seem to be quite the filmmaker that he got to be because he was only in his early 30s when he made this. So anyway, check this out. I think it's Sanshiro Sugata. I don't know. I'm no good at pronunciation. I'll put it on the thing because I'm only going to put one thing. To me, it's all one movie.